The truth occurs.
Hi everyone, I'd like to talk to you about the Obamacare bill, HR 3200, that right now a lot of rumors are going around about this bill, namely that it's requiring the implantation of microchips, the mark of the beast, which is linked to your financial information, your bank account. So, okay, look, I actually read the bill. I'm going to just try to break this down for you. I'm a little nervous because my son is right here, so, okay, bear with me. So, I figured I might have some interruptions. So, and I'd just like to mention that, so you understand what point of view I'm coming from. I am a Christian. I do believe in the prophecies of Revelation. So I do expect that we will have a mark of the beast system at some point. So it's not because I don't believe. And am I in favor of Obamacare? No. I mean, I live in Canada. We have universal health care with a single payer system. I'm in favor of what we have here, but what you're getting down there is really like they're just making you buy health care. I went to the site and I really looked at all the kinds of services you get out of it, and I just really don't think it's that good. I think the costs are still very high for people with pre-existing conditions, and they're basically just making you buy health care. Oops, I meant to say they're making you buy health insurance. So the concerns about the microchip. For example, pages 1001 to 1002, a national medical device registry is created and populated with devices, chiefly noted among them a class 2 medical device that is implantable. Okay, well, I read this, page 1001. It does mention an implantable device. You should understand though, what are they talking about? Class 2 and 3, because they also mention a class 3 device and a class 2 device. You can find out what these medical devices are on Wikipedia. So they have class 1, which would be like a tongue depressor or a bandage, something like that. Then you have class 2, general controls with special controls. It would be something that requires like more testing and providing assurance of safety and things like that. Things like powered wheelchairs, infusion pumps, and surgical drapes. And they're usually not implantable. Class 3 would be something that requires a pre-market approval, a scientific review to ensure the device's safety and effectiveness, in addition to the general controls of Class 1. So this is things like implantable pacemakers, pulse generators, HIV diagnostic tests, automated external defibrillators, and endosseous implants, like implants in your bone. So you can see that the first ones are like the ones that are least likely to cause any harm and you need the least controls. The next category is a little bit, you probably need more scientific review for that. And then the third one are ones that could really be dangerous if they're not made properly. They need to really be tested. So you see what the difference is, class 2 and 3. So in the bill they mentioned class 3, and then they also mention a class 2 device that is, one thing would be implantable, or that something to do with it, I don't have it open in front of me, but something that it's like a life extending or life saving device, something like that. A device that is implantable, life supporting, or life sustaining. Okay, so I think what they're saying is a class 2 device that is almost like a class 3 device. They're not saying that it has to be, like, they're not talking about some specific implantable device. I mean, it could be anything from maybe like an ear tube to some screw you have in your leg, anything that like goes inside your body. What they're talking about here is creating a registry to track all this stuff in many, many ways. And this whole bill is full of like all kinds of tracking. Not only this, but there's a part where they talk about your test results going straight to the government, and this kind of thing. It's like going to create a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of big brother. It's big government. So they're creating a registry, and to me this is like a VAERS, like what they have for vaccine adverse event reporting system. The vaccines all have numbers for the lots, and if someone has a bad reaction, that particular batch that they got can be traced. So like if a lot of people had a bad reaction to a particular batch, it would be easier to trace and figure out where this came from, to maybe recall the rest of the batch or put out a warning or something. So that's what I'm reading here in this bill, is it's like that, but and more, but it's for medical devices. Okay, page 102, 104, mandates the use of class 2 implantable devices. No, it does not mandate that you're going to use implantable devices. It mandates like a registry kind of thing to track devices. And you know I'm a Christian, so down the road, yeah, sure, they need to set this infrastructure up now so that down the road they can bring in the Mark of the Beast system. I mean, this is a necessary step. But the rumors are that we're going to all, well, Americans, you're all going to have microchips by 2013. And I really don't see that in this bill. So that this implantable device is to serve as a link between you and your electronic medical records. Well, you'll have electronic records, and your medical devices will also be tracked, like I said, the way that a vaccine lot is tracked. And of course it will be in your record that you have this device and what its registration number is. And then page 1005, Secretary of Human Services will establish the procedures for linking of the Class 2 implantable device and electronic medical records. Okay, and this is where the rumor comes about this is going to be done by 2013, March 2013, which you guys are giving the government way too much credit if you think that they're ready to implement a Mark of the Beast system by next year. I mean, this thing only just got the approval of the Supreme Court recently, and they're far from being ready for that. For that, they would have to have everything electronic records. Plus, they'd have to get everybody to receive this. You still also have you have the option of not being in the system at all, like of not getting the healthcare, and you pay a tax. So believe me, when you're getting the Mark of the Beast, you're not going to have that option to just pay like a 2% tax if you don't want it. Okay, effective date. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, this is on page 1005, shall establish and begin implementation of the registry under section of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act as added by paragraph 1 by not later than the date that is 36 months after the date of the enactment of this act. So first of all, there was a bit of a delay. I mean, I'm not sure when they consider the act has been fully enacted since it just kind of went through Supreme Court recently. But what the Secretary is establishing is not the Mark of the Beast, although maybe a stepping stone to it. The Secretary is establishing the implementation of the registry of these devices, class 3 and class 2 devices that are in a certain category. The ones that are implantable or life-sustaining, they're going to be in the registry. And another part was that page 58, I think, the link to your electronic medical records, which is the class 2 implantable device, which now is not quite accurate, will also be linked to your bank account. Well, actually, page 58, it just talks about making electronic payments. Well, they're going to have electronic records for all your health information, which is, of course, great for Big Brother. And one thing that's going to happen with this, because it's all going to be linked together, is it'll probably be harder for people to like go to several doctors to get a prescription or to forge a prescription, because it's all going to be in the database. So I guess they're going to have to go to the street to get their stuff. So page 58, so I'm just scrolling through it right now. Still can't find it. Scrolling and scrolling. This is why I like paper documents better, because I don't like scrolling. Okay, so goals for financial and administrative transactions. Enable the real-time determination of an individual's financial responsibility at the point of service, which would mean like how much you have to pay, and to the extent possible prior to service include whether the individual is eligible for a specific service with a specific physician. Yeah, because they're going to be the ones deciding now exactly what services you get and where and when, which may include utilization of a machine-readable health plan beneficiary identification card. Well, they want the whole system electronic, so that wouldn't really surprise me. Page 1006 supposedly says, without regard to whether or not final regulations are in place, you'll be required to get a Class 2 implantable device linked to your medical records and bank account in order to participate in the government healthcare plan. Okay, let me see for myself. Section 1, Policy Committee shall recommend to the head office standards, implementation, specifications, and specific criteria for the electronic exchange and use in certified electronic health records of a unique device identifier for each device described in section such of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act as added by subsection A. So basically just setting up an electronic system in which the tracking and monitoring of these devices through a unique identifier will be implemented. So that identifier could be, you know, a number. Just like you'd have lot numbers for vaccines, well, this would be a little bit more specific, and then it would go into an electronic database, and then this stuff would all be linked electronically with health records and surveillance records and all that kind of stuff. That's what I see here. So the unique identifier is tracking the device, not the recipient so much. A class 3 device includes HIV diagnostic tests. So this would mean that the HIV diagnostic test would have a unique identifier. Also, most people don't receive any of these class 2 or 3 devices. Most of us don't have pacemakers and automated external defibrillators or whatever. So clearly, from what I'm reading, they are tracking the devices, and most or many of these devices are not implanted in your body at all. Look, I didn't see anything here saying that, you know, your microchip is going to be, you're going to have a microchip implanted and it's tied to your financial records, and like that's just really not in here. However, it's true that what are they called? VeriChip, who made that chip called HealthLink, later also bought Steel Vault, a company that handles all kinds of financial information. And this is also apparently all connected to IBM, who were the ones who provided the computer system that the Nazis used. And you can see where this is going. That stuff really does exist, okay? But like I said, don't give the government too much credit. We're heading towards the mark of the beast, but by next year, you must be kidding me. They're not that with it. They're not up to speed. They have a lot of work to do before we get a mark of the beast. So that's my perspective on it. I just want to share that with you. And thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.